Ladies and gentlemen, today I'll be talking about a Pakistani film called Silent Waters. It is from 2003 and it is directed by a female director, Sabiha Sumar. Now, before I delve any further into the film, I want to say that I started this YouTube channel for the sole reason of not only talking about film, but in hopes of getting more people to watch films and not just films like I don't know, Gone with the Wind or Wizard of Oz, but films that I think that deserve to be seen by more people. Films that I think are very entertaining, or films that send very important messages. This being a damn good one of them. Plus, it's like I said, it's a Pakistani film, and it is the first not only Pakistani film I've ever seen, but it is the first film I've ever seen from the Middle East. So yeah, it's pretty. So yeah, I don't think many people would have heard about it, and it was just so damn good, and I really want to talk about it. So so the whole film, it's about a boy who lives with his mom in Pakistan in the late 70s, 1979. And his mom is, she's a teacher. She teaches, women. She teaches girls. And, and again, it takes place during the 70s. And you see that there are a lot of, you know, that there are, some terrorist groups are trying to take control, and I have the mother who in Pakistan would be is very liberal minded. She's trying to educate women. She believes in that a good person is a good person no matter what the belief is. But then you have the son who does have a girlfriend, and his friend says there are these new people in the village and they have like great ideologies, and they take not only his friend under their wing, but they even take him under their wing, and they are extremists. They start rioting in the village. Like, if you're not in Islam, if you're not a true Muslim, if you're an infidel, we will destroy you. And as a matter of fact, and we don't see much violence. We might see some people marching down the street rioting, but we really don't see any violence like in the movie Argo. But we do see newspaper clippings of headlines that people were hung, people are being attacked. And as the film continues, and it's a pretty straightforward film, but it's definitely a film I'm gonna have to watch again, but not anytime soon, because it's a pretty intense watch. So we keep seeing flashbacks of the mom. Again, this is a single woman who has one son, and said she's doing her best to go about her life. She's doing her best to teach women, and she's just a very kind woman who, and I'm gonna be honest right here and now, and this is not, I do not condone hitting your kids, but if this kid was my son, I'd probably smack him silly. But anyways, and you just see the son who's like, I believe in this now, and to hell with women. And as a matter of fact, his girlfriend really wants to go to college and become independent. She's still in love with him. She wants him to pursue his endeavors, but now he's like, a woman has no right to speak. If you are not a true Muslim, then we will hunt you down and we will destroy you. And it's pretty scary because this is something, being a human being, especially being, well, American or not, but being a human being, this is something that I see a lot going on. And, it has happened to me before. People saying, oh, follow this religion, follow this political party, I don't know, burn any book written by this writer, this, that, and the other. And it is pretty terrifying. Now that I look back at it, I mean, when I was in school, I was in school. I was a complete idiot. That's why I was in school. But watching this film, I had a lot of post traumatic stress, sort of going to school and having teachers just like these extremists saying, acting like, well, Nazis, acting like complete Nazis, saying you have to believe this, and if you don't, and if you disagree with them, then you'll be out. You'll be outed. You will be. I don't know what the hell a teacher can do, but so not as bad as what's going on in the Middle East. But yeah, you have a lot of this crazy shit going on, saying, "Welcome, brother. I will teach you this religion. I'll teach you this political party." It is really scary, and it goes on all around the world. And also, another reason why I love this film, or why this film affected me so much, was it hit very close to home for me. Literally, I spent, in my life, I have spent quite a bit of time in Israel and the Middle East, and I never experienced anything extreme. I've never seen any violence or terrorist attacks. A lot of people try to say, "Yes, I was in Israel and we were being bombed out, we were being shot at," and that shit does go on, but I never witnessed it myself. But take for example, when I was in Israel by myself, the last time I was by myself completely, I spent most of my time in Jerusalem, which is a walled off city, and it was a pretty convenient spot. That's, if you're going to Israel for the first time, I highly encourage you to go to Jerusalem. It's very easy to find your way around Jerusalem. Yeah, you really don't need to be outside of the old city. You really don't, unless you want to see, I don't know, Tel Aviv or whatever. But it's like a very, very convenient, easy spot with a lot of Americans. But anyways, I remember taking the bus out of the old city, and it takes you through Arabic territory. And and again, like I said, I have never experienced any terrorist attacks. I've never faced any terrorist threats. As a matter of fact, in Israel, they are pretty fucking liberal. They're pretty liberal in Israel. They con uh contrary to what a lot of Americans like to say, a lot of the Nazi propaganda that Americans like to spread about how the Jews in Israel are the equivalent of Nazis. No, Israel loves, they're very close with Arabs and Muslims. They have nothing wrong with Arabs and Muslims. So, yeah, personally, I've never faced any terrorist threats or political tensions, but still driving on Arabic territory, not knowing where the fuck you are, where the fuck you're going, it was a pretty intense experience. So, yeah, this film did hit quite close to home for me. And I would also like to mention this film reminded me, and hear me out with this. This reminded me of another film that very much disturbed me, My Friend Dahmer. So if you haven't seen the movie My Friend Dahmer, I'm letting you make that call. I'm not gonna force you to watch it. As I said, it very much disturbed me in the worst way possible. But it's a it, it's about Jeffrey Dahmer in high school and how he starts to make friends. True story, very true story. So you have Jeffrey Dahmer in high school, and it takes you into his home life, his social life, and it ends as soon as his high school career ends. And watching this film was very, very intense because we all know what Jeffrey Dahmer did. We all know what happened. We all know what Jeffrey Dahmer did. So watching this film, you're seeing very this very personal, detailed, almost biographical piece of this human being, and you know what the hell's gonna happen. And just watching this, you can feel the tension. You don't see him murder or rape anybody, but you do know what the hell's going on, and you can start to notice where his mind starts to break. So it was a very intense watch. Just like with this, again, having been in Israel, planning on going back. Israel is a huge, it's my second home to me. So I am very much involved with Israeli politics, perhaps more so than American politics. And that, of course, involves the Middle East. Watching this in film, which was made in 2003, but taking place in 1979, you can see where a lot of these terroristic threats, while a lot of these terrorist groups are starting off. You can see how, and it's very heartbreaking because it's not like Argo, where you're with the CIA and shit's already gone down. So you're with this guy's like, okay, we have Americans or Canadians that are held hostage, and I'm an American who's working for the CIA. I'm gonna go down and help them. You are watching this Pakistani woman with her son, the single mother who's trying to raise her son, and her son starts becoming very abusive to his mom. As a matter of fact, watching this film, I was sitting there, I was chewing my nails, and I was watching this as part of my all night movie binge lineup. I caught myself 4 o'clock in the morning screaming and cussing at the screen. It's insane seeing how these young people, and I love it because I might not be that knowledgeable on the Islamic religion, but I know for a fact Muslims are very keen on respecting your elders. Seeing these young punks just threatening the elders. You see these older guys, like as a matter of fact, they like to spend a lot of time at this barber shop, and you have this elderly barber who's just going about his business, trying to cut hair, shave people, and they're like nonstop, harassing the barber, threatening him. It's it's very intense, and again, seeing this young punk like threatening his mom, who's trying to help him out as much as she can. And it's another scene that was very heartbreaking to me. Okay, before I continue, I'm gonna let you know right here and now. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So either stop this and watch the movie, or uh, otherwise you're gonna get a spoiler. So, anyways, we later find out this guy comes into the village. I think he was a sheik, uh, Sikh, and he's walking around town. He's asking everybody, "Do you know where my sister is? Do you know where my sister is?" And they're all like, "I don't know, I don't know." And they do know where she is. He walks around with the picture saying, "Where's my sister?" So this guy turns out the mother, and we see a lot of flashbacks. Hence, I need to rewatch the film. Turns out the mother I don't think she was from Pakistan. Maybe she was, but she was born a Sheikh, but she converted to Islam. And we see in her past, the Muslims started raiding the village. The Muslims started to burn down houses, and the father, her brothers were panicking, and they were encouraging the sisters to commit suicide by jumping into a well. But the mother, she was standing on the well, and she said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out of here." And she made a mad dash, and she was then kidnapped by Muslims, and then she ended up moving to a different spot, and hence what she is now. So we know for a fact she's born a sheik, and her brother is going all over town trying to find his sister and saying, "Our dad is dying, he wants to see you." But the son kicks him out and threatens his mom because he's like, "How dare you not be born a Muslim? How dare you be born a sheik?" It's very, very heartbreaking. It's, as a matter of fact, I found it to be a lot more effective than Darren Aronofsky's Requiem for a Dream. So I don't know. I kind of feel as though I've been giving too much away, but I promise I'm not gonna tell you what happens at the end. I promise I'm not gonna tell you. But what I will say is, watching the ending, I had to rewind it. I was screaming. I was shouting at the TV screen. So yeah, I'm when I get the balls, when I get the courage to sit down and rewatch that movie, I will. Yeah, Silent Waters again. It's a 2003 movie from a female director, Sabiha Sumar. And I also would like to mention that where this film really struck a personal chord with me. I remember years ago, my grandfather, he loves reading Time magazine. I'm pretty sure it was Time magazine. And he asked me to take out the trash. I said, sure. And he had a copy of Time magazine. And I remember, I know I wasn't taking out the trash, I was sitting on his top of his newspaper. I remember seeing this photo at a very, very, very young age. I saw this blown up photo of a Pakistani woman with her nose cut off. You saw her nose cut off, completely bleeding, and that image never left me. That image never left me. I also remember I was in 8th grade, going to school, and that's when Malala was, became a big thing. That's when Malala was shot. And I remember my teacher, and this is actually my science teacher. My science teacher, she sat down with us and told us all about what happened with this girl Malala. And she said, "Be grateful you live in America. Be grateful you can go to school. Be grateful you have the right to vote." And so there you go. And the fact that it was directed by a woman, and that's something I wouldn't go so far as to call myself a political activist, or I'm not one who's I'm not a political activist in the least bit. I loathe politics, but that is something as a film director that I very much encourage. As a matter of fact, nowadays I think we have more female directors, and that's an amazing thing. But still, I would like to highly encourage for there to be more female directors. I would love to see more female directors, and seeing this film through the eyes of a woman was absolutely amazing. And again, it's not a violent film, it's not a melodramatic film, it's a very, very subtle film, but it's very, very intense and powerful. And the fact that it's Middle Eastern, the fact that it's from Pakistan, the fact that it's that, I don't know what you would call it, underground, that it's that obscure, this is why I felt the need to talk about it. So thank you for watching this, and you're welcome for me having watched the film, so I could tell you about it. And as a side note, hopefully tonight, I will be shooting my next top 10 AA entertainment video. I've been holding it off. You'll see what it is. It's a top 10. I just couldn't figure out what my last, entry for the list should have been. That's what's been keeping me back. Again, thank you for watching this, and please do me a favor, watch Silent Waters from 2003, directed by Sabiha Sumar. Peace out.